Call 414-978-9500 or donate at 1029thehog.com.
And those auction items, that'll end here in less than 2 hours now, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's over. We can't extend those. That's on an automatic timer these days, so that's done. So if you're waiting to bid or haven't bid yet,
Borna, good to see you.
1029thehog.com. Yes, Bob, good to see you. Good to be with you guys always for the last final hours of this radiothon. So
back in the studio. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in the studio today. For the first time.
For the first time now in a while.
In a couple of years.
Just before COVID.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Jon McGlocklin is.
All right. Got it back in the house. Great.
Not on the phone this year.
No, I love coming. I love being in the studio with you guys. Plus, it's better. And I was told that you preferred it also, so I'm glad to hear that. And it's been a few years. COVID's shut us down, but we're back in.
You look fine. You look good.
Just fighting that old age thing.
You just finished playing? Did you just come off the court?
Yeah. In my brain, in my mind, no jump shot. I will have people come up and say, "Hey, Johnny Mac, do you still go out and shoot?" And I go, "I can barely walk."
Do you have basketball dreams?
I do. And
are you good in your dreams too?
You know, my dreams. It seems like it's always in New York. And
really?
I'm trying to get to the game or a flight, and I can't get there. And I can't find it.
It's kind of a common thing in dreams, not being able to get to where you are. I'm just interested that it's, a basketball game or...
I don't ever get the good stuff. It never comes in a dream. Like the nights I got,
As long as you're struggling in your dreams and I'm struggling in my dreams, I'm going to say it's healthy. Yeah, if we all
normal, it's not anything to be afraid of.
Yeah. I don't know.
Isn't there a commonality to what people dream?
I always hear the phrase, the thing dreams are made of, and I think about my dreams. I go, I don't want anything that my dreams are made of. They're always...
I always feel like you're trying to struggle, like get somewhere.
Yes.
And then others dream they're falling, right? The old falling dream. I don't have those.
And New York, you say?
It's always New York. And what's interesting is the house we live in now, we've been in 30 years. And the one we lived in Greendale and raised our kids, we were there 28 years. And my entire family have said the same thing. When we dream about home, it's always not the current one we've been in 30 years, but it's always Greendale.
House, yeah,
I don't know why. And it happens to them, too. So I'm sure there could be some study done on that. Dr. Veronica Flood probably wouldn't know about dreams, but she knows a lot.
She does know a lot. She was great in here earlier today.
I know.
Dr. Flood, she's, for those of you who don't know, and we didn't really even know, she replaced Dr. Margolis.
Who was moved up into another position.
Yeah,
yes.
He's still around. He's just not doing that particular job anymore.
Correct.
Dr. Flood is doing that. She was great. She was a lot of fun this morning. I heard she was nervous.
Well, sure she was.
Afterwards.
She doesn't do this all the time.
She's too smart to be. She's too smart to be nervous around a couple of guys. She could outsmart us with,
like she throw something on YouTube, be like, huh?
It would be like Captain Kirk being nervous on a planet of cavemen.
It's a good analogy. I agree.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I heard you guys with Andy North as I was coming in, and it's too bad Andy isn't more intelligent and articulate. He's so good.
Well, how often do you talk to Andy?
Well, not often.
Okay.
Once in a while we do.
I thought maybe you could run that by me. Andy, if you could step it up a little bit.
Could you learn something about golf and the Masters?
Bob and Brian show, yeah.
Oh, no, he's the best, and he's been a MACC Fund guy for many years, and of course, the things he's done at UW and still does do. Andy's one of my favorite people. I think he's unique, and his accomplishment 2 times in the Open.
Yeah,
we replayed the one that you heard. The chat with Andy was a replay about an hour ago. That would happen 10 o'clock this morning.
Right.
And it went in. They said, "Well, it's in the computer. Just pull it out." So to pull it out of the computer, you have to type up Andy North. Well, we pull it up and it says there's 6 Andy Norths in there, and they're not dated. And so they said, "What one is it?" So I said, "Well, just play the beginning of it." And it was like, Andy was so good at the beginning of all of them, you had to go, No, that's not it. No, that's not it. But Andy, he's just so consistent and smooth and professional that you couldn't tell one.
And apparently so are we, because for 6 years in a row he didn't date.
Oh, each other. No, you mean the interviews.
Self-reflection here.
Right, yeah.
You know, Andy, one year, when Aaron was, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers quarterback, I think 4 or 5 years in a row we did a night with Aaron Rodgers at the Pfister or the Hyatt or both. I think it was the Hyatt. And one of them, Andy, came in with Sue, his wife, and we had Bart Starr and Cherry that night. And Aaron and...
That's a pretty big who's who right there. Bart Starr, Andy North, Aaron Rodgers. You were there?
Yeah.
Yes, I got that picture of the four of us. And that's one of my pictures in my office where I have my memorabilia, and that's one that's right there front and center with those guys.
Was that a black tie event?
No.
Okay.
We never did a black tie. We were in suits and such. Aaron's parents were there that night, and at that time, his girlfriend from home, wherever she was from at that time, and we sold them out every year. But Andy emceed that one, which made it very special with Bart, Aaron, Andy. And I was the clunker up there in the picture with those guys.
Well, I didn't want to say
I mean,
I have a picture of Robin Yount and Bart Starr. I don't know what it was. They're both in. It's a dark suit event. You can tell it's got to be a fundraiser. And it's profiles of them in the picture, and they're looking at each other, and they both have fairly big smiles on their face, like, something funny was just said. And I was always I thought, okay, I got to get Robin to sign this. And how do I get this to Bart Starr? And I never did. I still have the picture, but I never got it. It doesn't matter. It's still a great picture. The two of them having a smile, talking about something. And who knows what it was about. I doubt that it was about football, and I doubt that it was about baseball.
Probably not. And I've got a couple stories on Robin, and of course Robin, Bart. I mean, and all the years that Aaron did a number of things for us. Andy, these are special people. But I want to tell you the Robin story. First of all, in my office at home, that's where my memorabilia is. We were talking off air about it.
You have a Bob and Brian bobblehead in there, right?
Yeah. I got to get that signed. Can I have the 10 you have remaining? No. Maybe I can sell them for the MACC fund. So, those guys have all been friends of mine as well as great MACC fund guys. Mm-hmm. But in my office, I've got all this stuff from announcing and playing, and it's all mostly basketball. I've got 3 baseballs that are signed, and it's all I have that's outside of basketball. And I kept them because here they are: Bud Selig, Robin Yount, and Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron, there you go.
Those 3 I've kept right up there, and they're special to me. Robin is just a delight. He's done many things for the MACC fund, but I knew him back during the 80s because I would go out and be called out to do chapels on certain Sundays with that team. Yeah. So we would go at the old stadium. We'd go in the shower room to get private for the chapels. And I always felt like the Apostle Paul because, it was the old stadium and we're in the shower room. The other guys that aren't in the chapel are in there laughing and, the whole thing.
Sure.
But that's how I got to know Robin and Malter and, Gorman, who's still in town. Yeah. And so one year I was standing talking to Robin in front of a grocery store in Phoenix, in Scottsdale. It was a beautiful day, and he told me he was there. His father was ill. They were out there. His mom and dad were in the house. That particular house is the house he bought with his, I think it was a $17,000 signing bonus as the kid.
Yeah.
That was it. That's how he spent the money.
When he was 19 years old.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he was in the majors at 19. He may have signed it at 18 years old.
Yeah, and I don't know the details, but I'm standing there talking to him, and he's telling me the story, and people are walking in and out, right? People, men, women, kids, walking in and out of the grocery store. And nobody, of course, knew who he was. And I kind of had this urge come over to stand up and yell at everybody and say, "This is a first ballot Hall of Famer right here, and you're all just ignoring
Two-time
him."
MVP at 2 different positions.
Think
Shortstop
about
and
that.
center field.
And,
Yeah.
and no one knew who he was, and I just want, and he wouldn't want them to know.
I don't think he minds.
He wouldn't.
No.
No.
I think it'd bother him more if they did know.
It bothered me that they
Yeah.
didn't know him.
Yes.
Yeah. But he's been a blessing to the MACC Fund. Robin Aid benefits the MACC Fund too. So these guys are great.
He is always, as we told Frank Caliendo, you always answer the phone when we call. Robin always answers the phone.
Doesn't he?
When we call.
Isn't it a delight? I mean, when you think about
It doesn't surprise me. You meet people, along the way. Like Robin, we knew him before the MACC Fund.
Yeah, I know.
Before he jumped in with us and all this stuff, and he was just a good guy then.
I know it.
And he didn't have to be. We were nobody sniffing around the locker room.
Well, and in today's world, it's even harder to get to the guys. With security and everything.
Ray
whereas
Nitschke used to
then-
answer his own phone. I mean, back when Ray was alive. He lived in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had him on one morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we were supposed to. He said, "Well, we'd set up for let's say 8:00. It may have been 9:00, whatever. It doesn't matter." And we called like at 9:02, and he answered the phone, and he didn't say hello. He said, "You're late." And he said it in that mean Ray Nitschke way too.
But didn't we call him early too once? And said,
yes, we had him on. We had him on
5 minutes, Ray, and he goes, "Well, call me back in 3 minutes."
Okay, right.
Yeah. And what are you going to say? Look, okay.
No.
So we hung up. Harry Carey did that to us too when we had him on.
Call me back.
He was like 2 minutes to go. How long before we're on? And we said 2 minutes, Harry. Call me back.
Call me back.
Boom. And so you put down the phone, you start dialing again. Hey, Harry, it's time. We're on.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they were great. They were great. They jumped in. They were very good. On the air. It was fine. It was just that's the behind the scenes stuff.
Well, and I think today, because there's so much security and there's so much notoriety out there and forms of information, that I do think that even a good guy would probably start to believe, well, I got to be isolated. And I like these old school stories because I think the players, ex-players we're talking about, maybe don't believe what other people believe they are. They're just, hey, man, I'm just a dude trying to make it through life. You know what I mean?
Well, back when players and just, the guy who worked at the factory made pretty close to the same money, they were living in the same world, but now there's such a difference.
And that's it's truth. And I think psychologically, if a player starts believing I'm worth $20 million a year, then you're really not. You're just worth as much as the rest of us. But to that organization, you're worth that money.
Did you come in to just reminisce and talk with us, John? No, you came in because it's the Radiothon.
Yeah.
And we are here to help raise money for the MACC Fund, which was started back in
Well, it was my retirement night was 1976, and it was that
right.
night, December
Yes.
10th. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the end of one thing, the start of something else. I don't know if I want to say bigger. That's your call. Bigger than your basketball career, the MACC Fund.
Well, more important
than your basketball career. But your basketball career
without that one,
made that possible because it gave you the platform and opened some doors to get in and get some people's attention to talk about, what you wanted to do.
Correct.
After basketball.
Well, and let's give the Bucks the kudos. So when we started the MACC Fund, Jim Fitzgerald out of Janesville and his group owned the Bucks. So we went to Fitz and told him, Eddie and I said what we wanted to do on my retirement night. He said, "What do you want?" So he gave us the attorney, he gave us his PR firm, and we started it and announced it. And then later, Senator Cole came along and blessed it and supported it also. Yeah. And now this ownership group continues to give us a game.
And Dr. Flood made it very clear again when she was here, and I know we've been over this over the years, that all the money that's raised here locally from all these things that we do, like the Radiothon, for instance, or the golf outing that we have, or the other golf outings that are held, or the dinners and the fundraisers and all that stuff, that money goes directly to research here in Milwaukee. That money stays here.
Yeah, well, and Madison.
Well, yeah,
with Carbone.
Right.
And a little bit goes up to Marshfield because of a specific program that we have supported. But it's all in southeastern Wisconsin. And so when I speak or talk to people, I want people of Wisconsin to know what they've done. that in especially southeastern Wisconsin. So the 50th anniversary is coming up in December. We will have given at that time $100 million in the in research, and that means here's the payoff: more kids are alive. So when we started the MACC Fund, about 20% of the children of any form of cancer survive 5 years. Today, it's over 80% in general across the board. Some cancers are more difficult than others to treat and research. But we're saving that many more kids' lives, which means parents and grandparents and friends and brothers and sisters don't have to go through this awful thing. And so people here need to be proud of that. The Milwaukee Bucks gave Eddie and I the forum. We talked about it on radio and TV, and people started calling me, and I started going to meet with people to see what they could do for us. And that first year, we raised $35,000, and now we've given $100 million.
Back up a square and just talk a bit about Eddie Doucette, because that's Eddie. When you say Eddie, that's who you mean, and maybe a lot of people are late to the game and might not know.
I just talked to him a day ago. We talk every 4 or 5 days as a family.
Of what? What was he when he was a jock here?
Huh?
Eddie. He went by the Duke of
Dilemma.
He did. We had him on. He told us because he worked in this building. Eddie worked right here. He worked downstairs.
He was a disc jockey.
Yeah. He was doing nights, and he got the Bucks job. He told us about it. He said, I want to do your games.
Wes Pavlon, the controlling owner of the Bucks, heard Eddie and hired him before anybody else, in the organization, and said, okay, you're the PR guy, the promotions guy, the radio guy that first year, no TV the first year. You've got to do everything, and you got to promote the Bucks.
Eddie had a good motor, too, though.
Oh, man. I mean, he could just wing things. We worked a lot of years.
How old was he when he was hired for all that? Was he 25?
Well, he won't want me to tell people how old he is today.
We're ballparking it here, John. We're all friends today.
Yeah, I would say he graduated Michigan State. Yeah, late maybe. Yeah, mid-20s.
Yeah.
Okay. And he was a DJ, and then he got this job, and he was told by Ray Patterson, who was the president, even though the owner hired him, the president told him, "You create interest." He wasn't happy that he didn't hire him. You create interest in the Bucks or you're gone. Well, that's when all the nicknames, and he came up with all that stick to entertain people and kids. That's who really loved all the stick, and that's where Johnny Mac came from. The Skyhook.
Yeah, everything. The cement mixer, the Greyhound.
And he didn't everybody just do that for Bucks players. He had terms for everybody around the league.
Correct. He was as quick, and he still is, by the way, and he's a little bit older. But so I want to tell you a story where he came up with the Skyhook, who everybody has stolen. The world has it. He didn't patent it or whatever.
Every kid who had a basketball hoop in their driveway in the 1970s would, when you were reenacting a play on the court, Skyhook.
Doing your own play-by-play call while you're playing.
Well, there were a few Johnny Mac rainbow jumpers.
Yeah, there were a few.
Yeah, but those flew out because of Eddie. Eddie started all that.
Now, in '74, we were playing the Celtics in the finals, okay? And that was a rough finals because we had injuries.
Amen to that, brother.
Yeah, but Oscar was hurt. I was hurt. Lucius was out, Allen. And we played Game 6 in Boston, and it was 2 overtimes.
Which you won.
We won. So Kareem made the Skyhook on the baseline about 15 feet out in Game 6 to win it, and that's when Kareem hits the Skyhook. It just came out of Eddie's mouth. He hadn't planned it. That's where it started, on that game.
That's when he started calling it the Skyhook. I would have, if you would have asked me, I said, no, he did the whole time. I thought it was the entire time.
And it wasn't. It wasn't. It was on that game. And I've clarified that with Eddie so I can tell the story over the years because it's a great story. Because the whole world has used it, and and I get people come up to me and say, "Wait, John, why don't more guys shoot the hook?" I say, because it's too hard. They don't practice it and work at it like Kareem did.
Right. Every kid who was on a basketball team in the 70s, their coach made them shoot a hook shot. Every taller kid, it was impossible.
Well, there's no post-up game today because of the three-point line like there was then, because Elijah Ewing, on and on and on. All those big pivot men played in the pivot.
Yeah.
And today,
everything worked around that. Everything was set up to work to your big guy, right?
So let me think. In '74, one of our assistant coaches kept track of how many plays we had that Larry Costello put in from beginning of season till the end. 84 plays. Of the 84 plays, there were options off of them. There were a few for me, but all of them we would go through Kareem. And then, then work from that. Screens off the ball, screens on the ball, however.
Option one, Kareem.
Correct.
Okay.
Why not?
Yeah,
right?
No, everything else came off that. No, that.
Correct.
Larry Costello,
he could pass, too.
Larry Costello probably would have been fired if he'd have run it any other way.
Well, in that era, that's true. Because, the year we won the championship, the next year we played 15 preseason games. We played 6 ABA teams. And,
really?
Yeah, and of the 6 ABA teams, what we would do, they would play NBA rules the first half.
Oh, jeez.
And ABA rules the second half.
Yeah.
So we would I got to play with a 3-point line, but I never used it because we didn't do that.
Yeah. That was
We
crazy.
came up
Did you
and
play with the red, white, and blue basketball for half the game?
It was.
Yeah.
But a preseason game.
Preseason.
Go to the 4-point line, John. Throw it in from the backyard.
That red, white, and blue ball?
Yeah, I had one.
So
I had a couple.
They weren't good balls, and we played that half. I've had a cover come off the ball during a fast break.
Oh, boy.
So it'd be heavy on one play in
Where was
one
quality
city.
control at the factory?
You look back, and it's like the movie The Natural in baseball. The cover was back there.
Two things before we go to break here,
Okay.
John. One, that 70, when did you play the Celtics? 74?
74 was the Celtics. Yeah.
That game was, I think that was a 1 o'clock start that day.
I don't remember.
Wasn't it? I remember there were
Game
weekend,
6?
There were weekend games. It was a Sunday. It was a Sunday, I think.
Well, we probably came back here and played Sunday afternoon here for Game 7.
Maybe that's what it was.
That might
because
have been.
Let me tell you what my day was that day. We were planting the garden because this was May, right?
Yeah.
We were planting the garden.
No, it was early May then. I think.
Before we could watch the game, my dad said, "You have to get those potatoes planted." So we had to
Delicious.
go out and dig. We had to go out and
Potato
dig
crop.
like a half an acre of holes in the ground and cover them up with dirt before I could come in and watch the Bucks game.
I'll bet you moved quickly.
Oh, we got it done. We were all in front of the TV. And secondly, John, it's been a couple of years since you've been here. We're going to take a break here in a second.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to pick up the energy a little bit.
I know. That's what you guys love about me. I carry you two for 2 hours.
Yeah, it's true.
This is the MACC Fund Radiothon presented by Painting by Christopher. This hour brought to you by Johnson Centrifugal Technology. The next electric phone number is 414-978-9500.
Call and make your bids,
You can
donations.
Call and bid or just donate. You
Tell
can
them,
just
John.
Donate.
We need the cash, right? We need the dues.
So here's the deal. We're around 42,000. Can we get to 50,000 before I leave at 5 o'clock and we go off the air?
All right. We also have things to
Let's
bid
do
on.
it.
All right.
$8,000.
You can look at it, the stuff at the 1029thehog.com website, powered by Savalia Financial Advisors. See what's there, bid on it. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Help give the gift of hope to a child. It's the Bob and Brian Radiothon to benefit the MACC Fund. Midwest Athletes Against Childhood Cancer. Presented by Painting by Christopher. More of your favorite athletes and special guests still to come on 1029 The Hog.